Okay guys, welcome back to your daily Helldivers 2 news update. Today we have got a brand new response from one of the devs on the recent changes today, because I know they have been very mixed with what's changed, and also a little update on the daily orders, which I will mention first before we go into the response. Now, if you guys do enjoy today's video, as always, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel as it supports me so much, and come and join our Discord. The link is always in the description. So let's get in with it. First of all, talking on daily orders. So this was an update in the Discord an hour ago saying, unfortunately, our dispatcher of daily orders was recently discovered to be a automaton, or however you say automaton, is that right? Sympathizer, I always just say Autobot, and has relocated to a super Earth re-education facility in the far reaches of Widow's Harbor so that he may be swiftly, humanely reminded of his loyalties. This means that the daily orders will be unavailable for the rest of the day until his position can be filled by another loyal citizen tomorrow morning. Thank you for your patience and understanding, Helldivers. Continue fighting for freedom. So that's, tomorrow daily orders will be back. Anyway, on to the big thing, which is balancing the firepower in Helldivers 2. Now, this was a post by the head of product testing, and this is an insight on what's going on. So, yes, I did see that there was a few people disliking my video because I said that I thought that balancing in the game was a good thing earlier on, and I completely do understand where some of the frustration came from, because I get that, you spend a lot of time building up to, get a meta build, and then, it all sort of gets taken away from you. So I completely do understand that. But we're going to read through this post now. So, balancing the firepower in Helldivers 2. I'm going to hop over onto the actual page so you guys can see it. Okay, so here we are, guys, on the official post. So we recently released a patch containing our first round of balance changes to Helldivers 2, and our head of product testing has some valuable insight into our philosophies and practices when it comes to balancing. So hello everyone, my name is Patrick. I was the designer on the first Helldivers, and I'm currently head of product testing at Arrowhead. A bit of a interesting title, but what it means in context is that I'm responsible for how Arrowhead listens to feedback and balances its games. I'd like to talk about the changes in this patch and why. Okay, primary weapons. First, I'd like to speak to the general power of primary weapons. Many have commented that they aren't powerful enough and are unable to deal with all enemies, either by the amount of ammunition required or their raw DPS. This is very much intentional, and you need to rely on your stratagems and the stratagems of your team to deal with the enemies efficiently. Either by eagle airstrikes, orbitals, support weapons, or turrets, some of your loadout / team should be tailoring their loadout to killing the weaker stuff more efficiently. This doesn't mean that your primary weapon shouldn't feel good to use, but please understand that this is a primary only in the sense that it's something you always spawn with. Nerfs and fantasy. I have since the game's release seen many who say don't nerf, only buff, and other similar ideas. However, as a designer, I can tell you this is not a great idea, but I understand where the sentiment comes from. All too often in the game industry, the core fantasy and what makes a weapon feel good and fun is ignored for the sake of balance. I believe players are scared of nerfs because it will ruin the fantasy of a weapon, ruin their fun. It is extra important to us to tread carefully, so we don't want to ruin fantasy and fun when we do nerfs. We hope you, our players, will tell us when we cross that line completely. Let's take a closer look at the changes we've made for this balance patch. So the SG-225 Breaker. So the Breaker was pinned down as the meta weapon, vastly overperforming other weapons and being the best choice for all Helldivers, at least if YouTube is to be believed. Helldivers veterans will remember the Breaker from the first game and how powerful it was, something we have made an effort to mimic in this game as well. When we looked at the Breaker and the data we have on its usage, it painted a picture of a well-liked weapon that was great killing chaff and generally had a few more kills than other weapons. It was, however, not necessarily better at making you succeed in a mission, and no real damage nerfs were warranted. The calculated total damage per magazine was quite high compared to other weapons, However, something that could be relined or reigned. Okay, yeah. While reinforcing the intended fantasy. The fantasy of the Breaker is a powerful automatic shotgun that bucks wildly as you hose down targets in front of you. It should be deadly up close with high DPS, and its major drawback should be ammunition management and pacing your fire so not to overshoot a target. To that end, we have lowered the amount of shells in each magazine and increased the recoil. Now, the SG-8 Punisher. So the Punisher is a powerful pump shotgun that should hit hard, but be limited by its slow reload and fire rate. Its rounds reload allows you to have it constantly topped up and makes the ammunition efficiently fantastic. Unfortunately, the Punisher had a bug with only half ammo being picked up each time you had picked up the ammunition, making its supposed great ammunition economy quite poor instead. It also had a weak impact when firing on enemies, often requiring multiple shots even at a shorter range. To bring it more in line with its intended fantasy, we increased the damage per shotgun pellet, the stagger amount, and the total amount of ammunition you can carry. We hope this will make it feel more punchy, as even if you don't kill a hunter with the first shot, you will mostly stagger it, giving you time for a follow-up. Now, the SG-225 SP Breaker Spray and Pray. So the Breaker S&P was intended to be even wilder, more point and destroy version of the regular Breaker. Something where pacing yourself would be even harder. A shotgun that requires you to get closer, but in comparison have a higher damage potential once up close. As many players commented, however, it was mostly good for tickling anything larger than a scavenger. To bring it closer to the fantasy, we increased its armor penetration and increased its fire rate from 300 RPM to 330 RPM and increased the amount of shotgun pellets in each shot from 12 to 16. And to compensate for this additional firepower, we reined in the magazine capacity from 32 to 26 as to not make it outshine the regular Breaker too much in the ammunition economy department. Now, the Railgun, another one of the current meta weapons enforced by its convenience and efficiency. The Railgun is really intended to be a high-powered anti-tank sniper rifle, requiring both timing with unsafe fire mode and accuracy with where you hit the enemy. It was vastly overperforming in how safe it was to use and how convenient it was, not requiring a backpack or assistance to be effective, and not requiring the risk to take out even larger armored targets. To that end, we have changed it so that the safe mode is capable of penetrating medium armor, such as automaton scout walkers, but not more heavily armored targets like chargers and bile titans. For those targets, you must now run it in unsafe mode and overcharge it. In addition, we reined in the Railgun's ability to damage massive body parts, meaning to get any real efficiency out of you, you must score hits on its head and other weak points. We're aware it rose to prominence as a part of other anti-tank weapons not being as convenient or as efficient in comparison, and we're monitoring the situation closely and will adjust more based on how this change plays out. Now, the Flamethrower. The Flamethrower is really the embodiment of stepping into a queen's lair and torching all her eggs, as done by a badass action heroine. Wait, what? Okay. It should be powerful up close and inconvenience to enemies that are lit on fire or want to walk through the fire and flames. As many have commented, the Flamer has felt a little bit too, I guess just not powerful enough and, just boring. And not outputting damage at a rate is warranted by a weapon with a shorter range and large vitality, such as the Flamethrower. We have increased the Flamethrower direct damage to be able to barbecue enemies that get too close or get close faster. And please enjoy your Termid barbecue device responsibly, as this also makes it more volatile for any Helldivers caught in the stream. The Laser Cannon. Our original intent was that the laser cannon has the role of a machine gun, but theoretically infinite ammunition. However, many players were somewhat disappointed by this role, expecting more armor penetration from the large drilling beam that it looks like, especially when looking at an orbital laser that can drill down and even kill the heaviest targets given enough time. Here we have decided to side with the community and shift the laser cannon more towards the players' expectations and their fantasy. The laser cannon has gained additional damage versus massive body parts, increased armor penetration to make it capable of dealing with damage with medium armor, and better ergonomics to make it's easier to stay on target, so like recoil and stuff. As this is quite a major change from the original intention of the weapon, please be prepared that it might change again in the future if these changes don't work out well. For now, let us know how it feels. Now, the shield backpack. The shield backpack is safely at the expense of the backpack slot. Unfortunately, the safety offered up by the shield backpack was a bit too great, essentially allowing you to ignore many mechanics that contribute to the fun of Helldivers, such as knockback, shockwaves, and giant explosions obliterating you and your friends. To end that, we have increased the time that the shield needs before it starts regenerating, if not broken, quite significantly. This essentially means that you can't hide behind a rock for 5 seconds to get your shield back to full. Instead, it will be degrading the health bar until it breaks. When the shield breaks, it will take longer to regenerate than before, but still significantly shorter than if it is not broken. To compensate for these extra times, the regen speed of the shield itself is near instant to max HP. This is only a partial solve in our minds for the shield backpack, but it should bring out more of the must-have meta slot it has filled currently. The 120mm and the 380mm barrages. So the fancy of these is an artillery storm, denying entry to an area in which they are active and raining down powerful shells on the target for a longer duration. The primary effect of the Eagle stratagems in that while in the Eagle strikes are fast to arrive and have pinpoint accuracy, these have a longer active time but are less accurate. They have, however, not delivered on the feel of being active much longer, or the saturated area denial effect. To bring them closer to fantasy, we have decreased their scatter area and given them an extra salvo. They should still solve a different problem than the Eagles, but now have more value. In closing, I hope this gives you a greater insight into how we are thinking around balance and why we make these changes we have. Happy Helldiving. So, a pretty interesting response to the recent changes. I feel like to be honest, the stuff they're doing, I think, is great. I really believe that they're the best team to be looking after this game. I'm telling you, I've been making content for many different devs teams, and I don't think we can complain with this, with how they're handling things, especially as they're a smaller company and they've shot right up to fame in the industry. I really believe we need to back them, and they will listen to us if we want to do stuff. So I'm interested to hear more of you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the comments. See you guys then.